A life of a prophet is never supposed to be understood. It's a very painful life, but it's also is so rewarding. Have you wondered how the majority of the New Testament was hijacked by a man who was not even the disciple of Jesus? God is comfortable raising one man because that price that one man pays is not comparable to what everyone is doing.
How can I be rooted in my identity?
There is an idea of you being a king versus you being a king. When you come to a place of rest, when you really know who you are. The reason why you're provoked is because there is still the jaguar inside of you. But what if that part doesn't exist anymore? That kid doesn't exist anymore?
You don't want to prove it. Greetings and welcome back. It is such a joy to have each and every one of you tune in again to this podcast. We are glad to be back on Let's Talk with Shyju, Mathew. It's been a learning experience being part of this conversation with our dear prophet and to hear his heart. We've seen the spirit side of him. We've received from the man of God part. Every Sunday when he comes up, every Wednesday he ministers to us. Every time we listen to the app, we hear from the God part of him. And in these conversations, we get to hear his personal heart. And that's what this is all about. Prophet, we welcome you again. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
It is such a joy to hear you just share your heart. I know that whether we
Welcome
receive
to
from you...
Canada, by the way.
Thank you, Dad. It's an absolute honor to be here. And podcast is something that I'm very excited about.
You've troubled me long for this. I blame him for the podcast.
I know that a lot of people were excited as soon as you announced on Instagram that we are launching a podcast. Everybody were very keen to subscribe and they were commenting and they were talking.
So where do they find all this? Like, where is it? Like, how have you...
So it's available on video on our YouTube channel. So you can subscribe and make sure to turn on notifications so that you're updated as soon as there is a video that goes up. You can also do that on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify Podcasts, and on Amazon Music. The thing that we would need them to do is also to maybe rate and review so that the more ratings and the more amount of reviews that there are for our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and on Spotify, it'll help new people to discover and be part of these conversations. So that's something that they can do, and they can subscribe and even take some time to share it with your friends.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We've already been learning so much from the last podcast, and it's such a good thing for us to go back and listen and even learn how you would respond to certain things and how you would respond to certain people and certain situations. And we would want to continue this journey of imitating.
I think the biggest...
And I may end up imitating something without knowing your inspiration, without knowing why you're doing it in that particular way.
There's the matter of learning, doing something because I'm seeing from someone. Then there is the inspirational guys that you're seeing someone online and you're copying. Then there's something that you do because of an understanding that is given to you. And there's something completely different that you're doing because a permission is given to you. So the fourth one is what most people don't have.
Right.
So they still have, my father does it and therefore I do it. They have, I've seen someone do it and, this one I can do it too.
Right.
Three, they found an understanding or a revelation even. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. I want to do it.
Yeah.
And then comes the fourth part of,
wow,
look, I have the revelation and I'm doing it, but I'm going to hold on till I have the permission to do it. Say the authorization to do it is different from I have a revelation and therefore I do it.
So just because you know something doesn't mean you actually go ahead and pursue it.
You see Jesus is training a bunch of disciples and they're all excited about it. They are trained to do it. They even were sent out to 2 and 2 together and do it. there's even a moment where the Holy Spirit falls upon them. And he blew upon them and said, receive the Holy Spirit. That was before upper room.
Yeah.
So they have the Holy Spirit, they have done the ministry, they've been with the guy, they have the revelation and experience. And yet they don't have the authorization. The authorization came in the upper room.
Right.
So you can probably see a man of God doing some business and doing some art and doing some talent, but you don't know about the authorization part.
Wow.
And that's the trap.
Yeah.
And you can go into that direction because of an inspiration, and yet you do not wait on the Lord for an authorization. So you went out but wasn't sent out. So those are the parts that my mind wrestles with, because those are the parts you'll never see.
Yeah.
Like I can even talk to you about why. But my why is not your authorization.
Right.
Because you can borrow my whys.
Yeah.
My father does it because of this. But yes, you can have the same reason and the objective, but do you have the authorization?
Right.
So if you ask, why is my father? And you can receive his vision and you can receive his heart. And doesn't mean that now I go start a church in Zimbabwe.
Exactly.
Because he is authorized. I don't have the authorization. So I can catch the why. But can you catch the authorization?
And that has to come from a higher source. It has to come from your spiritual father.
That's when you know, is it part of your destiny or is it part of your learning?
Right.
Was I sent for it? Was I born for it? Or am I just being inspired by a reel on the way? So those are the reasons why me saying why I do what I do may not even be good for you. Because you can get excited by it and you start doing it, and then you're like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to have even done it.
Yeah. So sometimes when I just do it because I'm inspired, but I don't have an authorization to do it, it can end up in unnecessary casualty, or there are dangers involved in it. And what can I lose if I go into a mission or into a task without an authorization?
Yeah, one of the worst things to lose is the favor. Time is probably the biggest hurt factor in your life, because the time waits for nobody. We're getting older by the day. So let's say that you are supposed to be from point A, you're supposed to be at point B. But now, because of you being inspired by the wrong thing, and just because you thought that because somebody does it, I have to do it, or because I have the revelation for it, I have to do it, there was no authorization for it. You were not sent out. And therefore, you end up wasting a lot of time. Yeah, I don't think there's anything greater than losing time. Yeah, you probably even find fruit. And this is it's a very well-known quote. It's not about succeeding. It's about succeeding in the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It's
such a danger. Yeah. That, because you said about time, I'm, been noticing how you've been able to maximize your time, and you've been able to not just succeed, but actually to bear fruit in the right sense, where you've seen the favor of God upon your life, upon your ministry, upon everything that you've been touching. I know that, many of us are really familiar with the man of God part of you, but on the other days, you're also an artist. You paint, you are creative. You're a movie producer, director. You love to create, visualize. And of course, you're also a singer, and, you've been bringing us these amazing songs month after month. Currently, we are almost receiving 2 songs every month. And that's been a side of you that not a lot of people see every time, or they didn't expect that side of you. They only expected you to be the man of God, the prophet who is going to preach from Sunday to Sunday. But to see you're actually using your time to produce something which is very unique, that's been such a blessing to watch from a distance. And of course, like you mentioned earlier, sometimes we can get inspired, but also do something like that. But I'd love to understand how and why you do, some of these things, especially music, for example.
Honestly, I don't consider myself as a singer. In fact, I was pulled into this. And all my life, I believe that I've been guided and led by a force, and led by God, to be precise. My mother prayed when I was in the womb that I would be a singer, but I couldn't hold a tune. And I was about 17 years old. I was singing, and a pastor told me, he said, do whatever you want, but don't sing. And that really crushed me, because I was like, wow, I'm not a good singer. I stopped singing. So I went to a conference. It was actually, I remember, in Gulbarga.
Okay.
A dear brother, he was releasing a song. And I was so touched by that song. So I said, hey, let me say, so when it was my turn to speak, I said, I want to sing that song again, because I feel the presence of God on that song. Hey Pita, Swargiya Pita. It's the prayer of Jesus.
Okay.
So I was so moved by the song. I said, let me just sing it after them. And he told me, he said, I know it's my song, but when you sang it, the presence of God flooded the room. He said, can you sing that song? I want to release a song. I thought he was joking. Nobody wants to hear it. And he was serious. He said next day he had booked the studio.
Wow.
One famous producer. He took me, that's the first time I went to a studio at the age of 17. And I remember being shocked that he was serious, that he wanted his song in my voice.
Wow.
And I remember I struggled with getting on beat. I still don't know how to get it on beat sometimes. And that's the first, but still in my head there was that lie saying I can't sing. And I was 19, praying at home. I got a Malayalam song. Murangal enilkumbol kannirulugumbol adukum yan Yeshuvo adukum yan.
That's not released.
That's not released.
Oh, wow.
So it came to me. Like that's such a intense, so I remember thinking it was very normal. So I would get songs. And then when I was probably about 19 or 20 years old, I was in college on a mountain hill. And I began to write that like a baby in the hands of the mother, like a child in the hands of her father. Hide me under your wings, cover in your majesty. Look into the lanes, I see the shadows pass by. Look into the dark, I see a ray of hope coming my way. And it's calling my name, and it's calling my name. And it goes to hide me under your wings, cover in your majesty. It's not released yet.
Wow. So I used to think Never Alone is your first song.
No, that was not. So then I finished that. That was about that time when I had my heartbreak. I haven't talked about it either. And I came to Bangalore depressed, going through a small breakup. And that's when I sang Never Alone.
Okay.
11, 12 in the night on the ring road, if you know Bangalore, driving in my Zen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I started hearing Never Alone. And that's how we released. So that's how. So people, I have noticed that there is an intense hate to me making music. So I never understood that. Even till today, I don't understand why people get upset about making songs. When I'm saying that, I've been getting songs from when I was a young man.
Yeah.
But the amount of hate, which makes me realize that there's so much of God in it.
Right.
Like there's no way to explain
Yeah.
why you would hate somebody. For example, there are people that suck at painting. You don't go to them and say, stop painting. You cannot paint. You're not an artist. Hey, bro, if they want to paint, let them paint.
Yeah.
But the very fact that people will go out of the way to take time to come and let us know how terrible I'm a singer, that I can't, my songs are terrible, which tells me that there must be an annoyance in the demonic realm
Yeah.
when I start singing.
Wow.
So all the more I realize that my songs is not probably for human beings. I sing for another dimension.
Wow.
That's my focus. I don't do songs for people.
Right.
Like I'm constantly producing songs that alienate a certain genre of people that love a certain genre.
That I think one of the mindset is if you don't sound like a Bethel or a Hillsong or a Planet Shakers or a Maverick City, that's not Christian.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because we got used to hearing that for over a generation. Like you can predict how a certain song is going to be when a worship leader says, I'm releasing a song. You can predict exactly what instrument they're going to use. I think one of the, like every single song, I've intentionally crossed a genre. I'm working on one that is a bluegrass. I just produced an R&B song. And every song has been, because I don't believe in being shut in a box. So if that's my life and my goal, why would my songs look any different?
Right.
If my sermons irritate and bother people, why won't my songs be? Why should I produce something that makes you happy? I've never lived my life to make you happy. Why would I start now?
Yeah.
I don't think that I've come to I'm much better than how I used to produce song a year ago.
Okay.
But look, I don't know of too many people that, like in 2 years, we produced close to 40 songs.
Right. Right. And that I have seen that there are so many more songs that are not yet released.
Yeah, that's, last time we were looking up, how many songs are there in the file? The team can just confirm exactly. We had to find a new software to record all the amount of songs. So I think that 195 songs left to produce.
Wow.
So,
they are songs that you've already received.
Received full lyrics, full tune, sang on the platform. That's the thing. Most of our songs, I should say 99% songs that we've got were received on a platform in 10-15 minutes.
Wow.
Like that's not normal. That's not me sitting at home and saying, okay, let me write a song. We've never done that.
Yeah.
I probably have done 2-3 songs that are my songs. Like I sat and I wrote it because I was upset with someone. Like the Goodbye song. I said, okay, goodbye. I need a song too. There's 2-3 of them that I'd probably never release because it's my song. Yeah, but besides that, every song, some of the lyrics that is in the song is so deep that I would not come up with it. I once realized, we thank God for that.
I really think that this is from God, and that the way you've been putting effort, your hard work, and you've been very meticulous in every beat, every sound that you hear, that you're not just putting something out there. And I've seen that.
I've wrestled with the producers.
Yeah.
Like they said, let's fit it in this way. I said, no, but that's not how I heard it. Like I've wrestled with it. Like they say, but musically this would sound better. I said, for sure. I said, but don't worry. I don't care about anyone listening to this. This is just for me.
Yeah.
Because I want God to say, okay, he was. So we'll probably get some style wrong, some beat wrong. It's not according to your standards, but we are never focusing on it anyways.
But I think from what we've listened to, it actually exceeds every quality of
But
music.
that being said, who's gotten it right from the get-go?
Right.
Like somebody was saying, yeah, but we heard a melodyne in some line. Like I'd like to hear you sing and tell me big artists. Like I was watching a video of Michael Jackson singing "We Are the World" with like 50 top singers of the world. Like they brought the who's who of the industry. And there's a clip that I watched. It's so funny when these big artists are singing. They're singing with Michael Jackson. And they start singing and they go off pitch. And Michael Jackson is like cringing. He's like making that face. He's like, he wants to get out of the room because he's so precise with his scale. And then I felt so good. I said, oh my God, even these big guys, you know. So it's very rare that someone has got it right through the, and even if someone says that we've got it right, you should ask them, show us the original. Because you will see 100 takes.
Yeah.
100 stitched up lines, you know. And for me, I don't listen to my own songs because I'm constantly, my brain hurts saying, oh, I should have done this better. I should have done that better. I should have added this. I should have not paused there. I should have taken more breath. I should have, hit it harder there. I should have gone soft. But I enjoy exploring stuff. I like trying new sounds, It's been a pleasure.
That I've also seen that of late you've been producing your own music.
Yes. And we won't tell that to anyone.
Because I feel like some of these songs, sound like so brilliant, so professional. It doesn't feel like, it's
doesn't
not.
Feel like a pastor producer. Thank you for the compliments. Yeah, it came from a need because I have a momentum, and I found that my producers were not able to get back to me at that pace. So while I was frustrated that I had to wait, I said, you know what, let me just try. So I got the keyboard and started trying a few notes, and I go by ear. I don't have training, and started getting some live music and started pulling things together. And then it seems the last few ones, those that heard it, they didn't know it was me. So it's good.
Yeah.
So we won't tell you which one is
personally produced. That one constant complaint that I hear sometimes from people, which you did deal with in the last episode as well, is about your clothes in the videos. That it is a little flashy, that it is very out there. So my question is, are you very intentional at choosing what you wear for each song?
Yeah, I'm hoping to lose them. I'm hoping that they stop following me. Yeah, I'm hoping that I will make them so upset that they'll leave me alone. But I've not succeeded in that.
They still come and comment.
Yeah, like I'm so confused. Why, if you hate me so much, why are you still following me? You follow every single thing that I do so faithfully. So I think you're a secret fan. Yeah, because honestly, my dressing, I don't think even my mother, who is a very deep Malayali Pentecostal, I don't think she or her community would appreciate my style of dressing. But I have my reasons to why I dress the way I dress. And there's so much of math involved in it. And that's the part that they'll never understand. And I don't expect them to understand. Yeah. And I've always been called to a different generation.
Yeah,
I'll find my tribe.
Yeah. That from the very first time that I have seen you on stage ministering, I've seen how when you sing and when you begin the service with worshiping the Lord, that is what sets the tone for everything. I can
when
just
you say
share
you begin, like what? How many years ago was that? Like, what are you referring to?
I've seen you from the year 2007, Dad. But there is just one particular conference. It was like a music concert that we had done in Ambernath in the year 2008. And there were different bands that were performing, like all professionals. And, they are like 6-7 people in each team. And they've been coming and performing different songs and, great music. And then at one point, there was so much opposition. It was Christmas season and there were certain things that were happening. And a lot of people had gathered to fight what was happening, what we were doing. And at one point, I come and ask you if you would be okay to go up now. And you said, sure, whenever you say. And you went up. And I remember you started singing, I Love You.
I think you didn't even want to introduce me because of the tension.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention your name.
Yeah.
Because there were so many people.
People were
fighting,
outside
with banners and, there was enough amount of police protection. But there were like a huge amount of people who were there to protesting. And, they were at the verge of even crossing and becoming a riot. So that's the point where I came and asked you, I know it's before time, but will you please take the stage now? And even without an introduction, you went up, you started singing the song, I Love You, Jesus.
I love you. Is that?
Yeah. I love you.
I love you, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling the presence of God already.
Yeah. And as you sang that song, Dad, there was like a shift in the entire place. Demons manifesting all over the ground.
I remember.
Even in the group of protesters.
Yeah.
Some policemen, falling down under the presence of God. All of that like happening all over the place.
I think it froze the whole protest.
It just changed the atmosphere. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking how, what a concert couldn't do, what professional musicians' music cannot do. When that presence of God came in, everything shifted, everything changed. And so I know that that's what, made you stand apart from the very beginning of your ministry.
Yeah.
And even till today, when you go up to sing, you bring us that same encounter that you are receiving from the Lord. And what we are hearing is not just a song. We are pulled into that encounter with the Lord. And for that, we are very grateful.
Yeah.
We are very blessed.
A life of a prophet is never supposed to be understood. Yeah. Like I noticed that Malayalis are the most and yet I am one among them. Because it's how it is. It is the manner of a prophetic calling. My own people, brown skin, would be the ones who will be the most vocal about it. If I'm sent to Italians in Montreal, it is normal for that group to not understand you. It is the manner of a prophetic calling.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a very painful life, but it's also the pleasure of Jesus is so rewarding. So rewarding. I live for that one thing. Yeah.
That we have seen you, how you deal with people, especially when they criticize you or when they're not like receiving you well or when they're being dishonorable. And the way that you respond to them, the way that you still transact with them, it's from a high standard. And as a minister, I'd like to learn from how you respond to people.
I think my mother killed a lot of my entitlement. I think you have to give her the credit. Because I remember when I was like 14 years old and the pastor was not treating me right because he wouldn't preach as long as I was preaching in the conference. So I ran to her and looking for sympathy and support. And she scolded me. She said, go back and serve him. I think that became like a foundation in my life that, it's okay that they don't like me. It's okay that I can be sent to you and you reject me. It's okay. I don't have to be loved by everyone. I don't have to be supported by everyone.
Yeah.
And, the whole idea of world dominance is not true.
Yeah.
There is an assignment that God has sent you to.
Yeah.
So I think that is very freeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing who we are sent to and who is our assignment.
Yeah.
Just focusing on that.
That group will grow.
Yeah.
They will thrive if they can be rooted.
Exactly.
And if they are not moved, that generation will be blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is, if we are surrounded by a lot of bad examples or like at one stage of our life, we've been under another man of God.
Yeah.
And we have seen their way of doing ministry. Some of them, they prefer to like divide and rule. Don't tell them. And, I'll go and tell them their weakness and then go and tell the other person this person's weakness and try to somehow exercise some kind of control over everybody by proving that I'm better than all of them.
Yeah.
And, we've seen a lot of negative examples like that, in our culture and where we come from. How do we stop those influences to manifest even when we are under such a grace and such a different stream?
Yeah, I think it's also why they'll probably fight me for my fashion style, because they were influenced by another fashion style. They had an idea of what a humble man of God looks like. And all of a sudden they see someone uniquely. And they think, oh, this is not humility. I think it's normal for us to be influenced by the environment and nurtured by the people that were previously in our life. I think, but at some point, you must have a certain intelligence. That's why I say Jesus is coming back for an intelligent bride.
Yeah.
So there must be a certain intelligence that is needed that will help you identify that great in you. One of the things that I do is I'm constantly observing. And I told someone who asked me a similar question in Los Angeles. And I said, we've been here now for like 20 minutes. I said, in 20 minutes, I've learned 3 things from you. And I began to explain, because this person was definitely shocked. Like, what could you have learned from me? And I said, first thing, I said this and you reacted this way. And I could have said it in a better way so you don't feel this way. Wow. And the second thing and the third thing, I broke down the 3 things that I learned from them. And they were shocked because it was just 20 minutes of like, so it's so important that you are very self-aware. Like if you found yourself dividing and ruling, like you went and snitched a little bit here and snitched a little bit there, and you pitched this person against this person so that you are favorite of each other person, and you notice that happening, there must be a certain disgust you should have about yourself.
Wow.
You should look and say, oof. Like let's say someone comes and says, hey, did you do it? Your response should not be like, no, I didn't. You're immediately saying, I'm not a student that wants to learn and grow. Instead, your response should be like, ouch, that's true, that happened. I shouldn't have done that. And then you go and you correct it. That's humility. That's a sign of you would have something that you observe that you don't want to change. One of the things that you will notice is that most people repeat the character of their father and mother that they swore not to ever imitate.
Yeah.
They said, when I grow up, I'll never be like my mother. Yeah. And they grow up and be just like their mother.
Right.
It's also because there is a deception in them. You have deceived yourself. You've deceived yourself. You said, I won't be like that. And then when you started doing like that, you justified it.
Right.
There was no part of you that looked at you and said, ugh, I can't be like this. Because there must be a great level of disgust that you have towards that behavior that will now start helping you catch it every single time.
Right.
Why does lie become okay? Because when you lied and there was nobody to correct it, it became part of you. So now it became part of your nature. So you can now lie and not feel bad about it because you're lying to get away, you're lying to succeed, you're lying to not look bad, you're lying because you'll be in trouble, you're lying so that you can keep peace. So now it becomes part of your nature. So unless you come to a place where you can identify that lie and say, no, this is terrible, this is yuck. And someone says, 4 spoons of sugar. And you know 4 spoons of sugar is bad. And just to look good, you say, yeah, I take only 2-3 spoons. you should catch yourself and say, no, you know what, actually thinking back at it, it's not true. I do actually take 4 spoons.
Right.
So the first time you correct yourself, you look very embarrassing. But now is the beginning of the death of the deceiver in you. So from that moment, you are starting to self-correct. You're trying to say, no. There's parts of me that has come down by my nature, by it's already in my blood.
Yeah.
But until I am disgusted by it, I'm going to function exactly by it. So you come from a church when everybody was like clawing at each other like crabs and pulling each other down. And you come to a part of a ministry and you realize that is not accepted. Will you allow that old man to take over? Or will you say, you know what, this is a good environment for me to practice something new?
Yeah.
Because they don't know how I used to be.
Right.
It's my time to change.
Yeah. Because sometimes I feel like my weakness is I'm aware of someone else's mistake. I'm aware that they are too judgmental and they are too, deceptive or whatever. But to catch myself, to be that self-aware that I know, oh, wait, I didn't say this correct. I must have overstepped a line here. I was too quick to judge.
This is why leaders are so rare. Because change is rare. Growth is rare. It's painstaking. So you will find that the amount of people that grow is so rare. People that do exploits is rare because it takes efforts to be disgusted by part of you.
Yeah.
And you force a change within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so powerful, that to be aware of your mistakes so much that you push yourself to, respond differently the next time the same trigger comes. On that note, I want to understand, in terms of a lot of young people who are in ministry, we have, amazing opportunities to minister to people, to be around people of all classes, all, criterias. And sometimes we are not always surrounded by the people with the best interest in mind. And you don't easily judge or understand or discern at the first go as to if this person has the right attitude towards me. So my question is, how can a minister, who is surrounded by people of, different interests, how can we draw a certain boundary around ourselves, protect us from temptations, from unwanted conversations, communication, things that can maybe compromise our character or even just our reputation in front of people?
Yeah. I liked what my father once said. He said, things that you cannot... I was talking to him about how do you achieve certain things, and he said you cage them.
Cage them.
Yeah, because there's a nature in us that you are born with. That's not necessarily something that you can kill. That is something that you have to force cage. You have to put a lock and throw the keys away.
Yeah.
Because if it's given to you, you will unlock it. So that's the same thing about ministry. There's no way that you're perfect.
Yeah, right.
Any pastor that claims that is lying. But you are basically looking at people that have found creative ways of caging parts of them that they don't want anyone to see.
Right.
They found ways. Otherwise, if anyone says, no, I'm always walking in the clouds, I was just talking to the Lord, I don't even go to the washroom, I'm always, they're lying. There's no such individual.
Yeah.
But you can get better. That's why Paul says that, who will save me from this wretched body? Meaning there are some things that you can only escape when you leave the body.
Yeah.
So if you are a young minister, you have so much options. There's always a part of the world that is trying to corrupt you.
Yeah.
There's always, you will either become like them or they will become like you. So you will have to find a certain balance. Like, so in terms of fashion, going back to the topic that you said, like, so I have to be, what is my boundary? I have to be careful that I don't become like them. But at the same time, I can create a version of me that's still premium.
Right.
I'm not getting lost in the world. I'm not losing my morals. I'm not becoming loose like them. But I can still create a standard of excellence for myself.
Right.
So I'm doing excellence, but not behaving and compromising like them. So that's why people cannot say this. If you're dressing like this, it could be because you're like them. I could dress like this and not be like them.
Right.
Like I've said this before. Best example is my father, who's a billionaire. He is yet without love of money.
Wow.
How do I know? Because I know the way he gives. I don't know of anyone who gives like my father.
Right.
Yeah, it's a mind blowing. I don't want to get into it, but that's how you can still stay out without adulteration, and you protect yourself, because not everybody that's surrounding you really care for you.
Yeah.
You are in charge of your image.
Yeah.
You are in charge of whom you message, who you trust, because the enemy is always trying to make you look bad and destroy what God wants to do through you.
That's right. That, because you touched on finances, if I can just ask a question on that, being in ministry, dealing with money, sometimes can get a little tricky, because there's a whole lot of attacks going on in social media about, hey, you guys are asking for money, you're, trying to steal from people. And at the same time, I know that it's a good spiritual, scriptural principle to talk about, to teach. So where do we draw the boundary as to, is this coming from the Lord, or is this coming because, I want to buy something? How do we make that distinction to make sure this is not my flesh teaching people to give so that I have my needs met? I'm teaching people to give because, this is the Lord, teaching them. And so in that way, I don't ever cross that boundary of trying to teach a certain thing so that my need can be met.
Yeah, that is probably also true that there are people who are still stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that people appreciate is honesty.
Yeah.
So what happens in our charismatic circles, to be honest, is that there's a lot of techniques people use to raise money. For example, I saw a video of an individual saying that, you have to give to the church, prepare for one offering and prepare for second offering, so that Jesus may be pleased with your salvation. Like he pushed that in, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, what is salvation
got to do with my giving?
Yeah. Another person, these are real stories, was saying, give so that cancer will never touch your generation. I heard that and I said, yo, come on, man. These guys are the reason why we get a
bad name.
Yeah. One guy said, give so that your man of God can buy a jet plane that will reach nations. We need a jet that we can travel without, get there faster, get the whole team, get all the baggage.
Yeah.
It's a genuine need.
Yeah.
But the problem is, this was his fourth or fifth jet.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's when you start thinking like, really, if this is a need, why is it a need? So can somebody, I would respect it if you can tell me, look, this is how much we've spent our team to fly down to a location. This is how much our commercial flights have been. This is how much the baggage has been. This is how much of
the time
that is involved. And yet, if you invest a little bit, you rent a bit, this only brought so much. So the kingdom was benefited out of it. Even if you can tell me that I haven't reached there much rested, I would add to that bonus.
Yeah.
So there must be people enjoy such kind of genuine.
Yeah.
But if you're saying, this one is only going 600 kilometer speed, we need a jet that would go 700 kilometer speed. Already people are like, yo. So I think that if in our generation, we are very against manipulation.
Yeah.
We can tell when someone is manipulating.
Right.
Be clean enough to say, this is the principle. Giving is in the Word of God.
Yeah.
Do it for your benefit, for your family. Don't do it so you're going to be getting a reward. This is your partnership, your honor, your privilege. I think people like a straightforward giving sermon than manipulating them to give it. They can smell it. They can know, hey, this guy is really trying to get every coin.
Yeah.
But when they find that you're genuine, then they give you every coin.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah, absolutely. That on that note, let me also ask from the point of view of people watching us, and also we ourselves being careful with the money that they have given us. Like, because sometimes we've heard of stories where things that are given for church use are found in people's homes, or money is actually not being used for the church. It's being taken home and being used for other things, which was not how it was originally raised. So how do we draw clear boundaries to make sure we don't touch what comes to the Lord? And if somebody is giving personally to me, that's a different story. But when we raise it for a particular assignment or a cause, we don't touch
that's a great danger. I think you have to be honest enough to tell the people, look, my car is broke. I would like a nice car. And I have the option of buying a $50,000 car. But if you guys don't mind, I'd like to get a $70,000 car because there's all this stuff. Say, I like some gadgets. If you don't mind, you're man of God pressing some buttons be honest, have an honest conversation than to say, the kingdom has to be blessed, and you're a man of God, and then they see that you didn't even use that money for that. So I think the transparency, they would say, right? Many people understand it differently. I think you must, again, I'm constantly trying to think, I should not bring a bad name to the Lord.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, in our church, we had a life center where we put a pool table. And that is has been such a blessing to our young people, our people, not even the ones, not necessarily the young people. They enjoyed coming and playing there. But I thought to myself, you know what? Nobody is going to be upset with me if the church sponsored something for the church. This is for the community. I said, but let me go a little, let me be a little more careful. And I said, this table is sponsored by my wife and I. It is our gift. So nobody is saying that he took the offering money and bought a pool table.
Yeah.
So I said, no, that expense, put it on me.
Yeah.
So anything fun activities that you see, I would say I'll personally sponsor that. Just that small, nobody's going to accuse me of anything here. But still, let's push that little bit of, nobody will know, but God will know. When we go out, we try. I've said this with Pastor Steve. I said, you know what? This is not a church event. So this I buy. So I don't want to keep sending the receipts to, I remember when I came as a youth pastor, they would say, where's the parking receipts? Why didn't you bring the parking receipts? This is like 13, 14 years ago. And I would tell them, I said, it's for the Lord. Why would I bring my parking receipts?
Right.
So I didn't enjoy it. They would ask me, give me the gas receipts. I didn't enjoy it. I said, I'm adding to the kingdom, not taking from the kingdom. It was not a good experience because there is, and let me try to bless the kingdom. I like how we are the reasons why the church is being built. It's not we being built because of the church.
Wow, that's so powerful. That, your language is so much like how Apostle Paul says, is it right for the church to take care of their men of God? Absolutely. But I will
Be a tent maker.
Be a tent maker. I will provide for the church.
Yeah.
I will build the church. And, even though there is systems and protocols in place for the church to help and provide and take care of the pastors.
I think that's the verse that talks about is that for your profit.
Yeah.
You're giving because of for your profit on your account.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that it is added to your sake.
Yeah.
So there is a blessing that you get on your account for your profit, for your blessing.
Yeah. It is not necessarily to help me. It is so that you can receive a reward from what you give to the Lord.
Yeah. I said this so many times, like, I still remember, like, when I came here, the first year of being a pastor, I told them, we like television, but if you guys can't do it within this week, I'll be the one doing it. So many equipments, we were the one doing it. We were the one buying it. Now the team knows that it's normal for me to pitch in. When they were building, the most expensive part was a wallpaper. Because of the height of it, it was coming into $10,000, and the designer wanted to. It was a premium design, and I said, if that's the most expensive thing, put that on mine, so that nobody will accuse that the church spent so much money on a wallpaper. So I said, if that's the most expensive thing, put that on my list. Wow. And then the second most expensive was the marble floor. I said, oh, that's expensive. So nobody will say that the church money was spent on a marble floor. I said, put that also on me. So I'll never be broke in my life.
Yeah. That the way you've given to the Lord and the way that you've built our churches is the way a king would do it. It is not how a pastor would do it. You've led us from a very royal lifestyle, and you've given to the Lord, and you've set an example so that we can also learn and imitate that, and we can follow in your footsteps. And
you've seen that even in our Indian church. Tell this to anyone.
Yeah, yeah. So many things that you've bought for our church back home, and you've paid for one entire project all by your personal money, not even the ministry money, and we've been witnessing that behind the scenes. And so I know that that's not necessarily even how a businessman does it or how a pastor would do it. That has to come from a king or a royal place, And
I think the question is, how much does God trust his money in my hands? If God were to give me millions, does he trust me to invest it back into the kingdom?
Right.
So for me, any business that I do, any income that I get, that's my perspective. How is it benefiting the kingdom?
Yeah.
And also to be clear, I don't need to go broke to help the kingdom. God can afford to bless me and bless the kingdom at the same time.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's amazing. That I'm so grateful for this conversation, and I've been learning so much. If I can just ask a question of a personal nature, I've had people, not necessarily people very close, but there are people who talk, and you hear some stories from here and there, and then I've had people tell me that there are people accusing me, of being a narcissist, of being, on my own. Like I make my own decisions. I don't consider everybody's opinion. I don't take a vote. So I wanted to understand, like, when, as a leader, when I'm running a church, and there are certain decisions that I make based on having heard from the Lord, versus, yes, there are other things where I may have to consider everybody else's opinion and understand what is good for everybody and then move in that direction. So I want to understand, how do I make sure that I am not always justifying what I'm doing by saying, hey, this is from the Lord, versus when I have to also be careful to not be led by people's opinions and their demands.
It's a style of leadership that American churches would prefer.
Where you're being led by the people.
everyone's opinion.
Okay.
I saw a video about someone saying, in our church, it's not centered around one man. We give turns to everybody. And we even allow people to send an application form of if they want to speak on a Sunday. My jaw
That's
dropped.
funny.
All in the name of it is not a church centered around a man. And yet Bible has no problem having a whole ministry centered around a man. Yet Jesus was okay that his gospel was called not the gospel of Jesus.
The gospel according to Matthew.
And the gospel of Mark, gospel of Luke, gospel of John.
Yeah.
But yes, it's still showcasing our Master Jesus. But how come he didn't say Jesus 1, Jesus 2, Jesus 3, Jesus 33, Jesus 34, Jesus 66?
Yeah.
He's okay to calling in the book of Jeremiah, the book of Ezekiel, the book of Isaiah. Jesus was comfortable and secure raising one man up.
Wow.
And yet the churches today are trying to people please by saying, let's spread the leadership with a bunch of people because of the fear of one man becoming the superstar.
Yeah.
God is comfortable raising one man because that price that one man pays is not comparable to what everyone is doing. And so you can imagine in a church like that, we're coming back to your question, but the church like that will be so diluted.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that all these 4 pastors are going to now preach, and each of that 4 people, and then you're getting application of more people that are coming. Can you imagine how adulterated that word is going to be?
Wow.
Then that church is not something that will be the most rooted church. It's a spread too thin. Have you wondered how the majority of the New Testament was hijacked by a man who was not even a disciple of Jesus? Apostle Paul.
Yeah.
Does it sound fair to you? Like the guy who literally walked with Jesus wrote like one book.
Yeah.
And then comes Paul and says, all the majority, you fellow, you didn't even walk with Jesus. You didn't go to his Bible college. You didn't walk 3.5 years with Jesus. Yet that guy, so is that okay that he was the one-man show?
Yeah. That doesn't sound like a democracy.
No, that wasn't a democracy. And then he even had the audacity to go against the group of apostles in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
He said, hey, even I have enough rights to be an apostle.
Yeah.
He picked up arguments with them. So what's wrong with that? To start with that. What's wrong with that? What's wrong in finding a man? What's wrong if he gets it wrong?
That's something I never thought of.
Because who gets it right at the first go?
Yeah.
I can tell you that when I started pastoring, I didn't get it right the first time. And if I knew what I know now, I would have done things a lot different. Because those days, one of my favorite lines while preaching was, we don't have one door, we have 3 doors. Choose which you like.
That's to leave.
Yeah. So if you don't like it, leave. But if I look back today, in today's maturity, I would have done it differently.
Okay.
I would have sat with them. I would have wrestled with them. I would have brought them to the table. But that's something that I had to learn the hard way. After losing all those people, I'm like, but did I have to lose them in order to do what I'm called? It has not made me any less successful. But could I have still won them over? So that's something that you will learn with time.
Yeah.
Or life will teach you. So the whole idea of, no, we don't allow the man of God to learn and grow, even from his mistakes. And therefore, we are going to create a system to control him and contain him, and so that the body is not hurt. You're even acting like God now.
Right.
You're acting like God because even God himself gave the freedom to make mistakes and learn from it and grow from it. And you feel the need to play God. So it's such a spirit of control that's taking over our churches. But the part about you being a narcissistic, I don't know, somebody really got that really off because you're one of the sweetest, kindest persons I know. So
I have my bad days, Dad.
everyone has bad days. We are all learning to grow into the image and likeness of God. We are all being perfected. See, you spent all this while asking me questions. I don't think a narcissistic personality would do that. They would all be about me.
Okay.
None of your questions was about you. You're just saying, even this you're saying is your personal question, but it's relevant to the body of Christ. So I think you can, some hurtful words, so you can let it go.
Thank you, Dad. I receive it. If I can maybe ask a round of 5 to 10 questions, Dad.
Yeah.
And I know we're running out of time.
What do you mean by round of 5 to 10?
Like a quick fire. Like
Oh.
you just give me one statement
I'm
for each
under
of these.
fire now. Okay. So I'm supposed to answer in one sentence?
I know that each of these topics you've dealt in so much of detail on the app, and we have series of teachings on each of these topics. But if you would just give us just one tweet or one statement to just help us, bless us, it'll be a blessing. Especially because a lot of our listeners on podcasts, they are all young people, and we go through our ups and downs and challenges. So one question. How can I be rooted in my identity?
Discover it.
How do I build my own unique personal brand?
Once you discover your identity, and that you're rooted in understanding, not in arrogance, then full throttle, press the gas pedal. Yeah.
Any tips to develop my capacity for wealth?
Don't start off with 50,000, 100,000 projects. You're scaling too big, too fast.
Yeah, start small.
Yeah.
How do I develop my creativity?
Surround yourself around creativity.
That's powerful. Any keys for sexual purity, Dad?
Flee.
That's
This one I
powerful.
can answer in one answer. Because today, someone is growing to maturity way earlier than they used to in older days.
Right.
And it's because of our food. So there's a part of you that is triggered and turned on and activated and aroused before time. There's an awakening of one sentence, right? I'm sorry, I'm done. And
That's
there's an awakening of love before time.
Yeah.
So cage well, flee well.
Amen. For a lot of our young people who are preparing for marriage, how do I judge that I'm ready for marriage?
Join Apostles 16-week.
19 weeks.
19 week. What do you do with them for 19 weeks? What goes on for 19 weeks?
We take them through a course that it's a book that they have to read, study, discuss, understand, and go for counseling. And
So out of 100 couples, how many people make it through this 19 weeks?
maybe about 10.
That's so. What are you doing? Why are you chasing them away? You're trying to get people married.
It also kind of helps them and helps us see if they're really serious. If it's just an infatuation of emotions or a high from the moment that, they've had a vision or an encounter, they're like, okay, let's get married,
And how many chapters to break up?
Usually it's around the 10 to 12 chapters.
Okay.
If they're not serious, they give up after that.
Wow. So they don't make it to the last 9 chapters.
Yeah.
Wow, we need that in Canada. Okay.
Dad, any tips on how I can tame my tongue?
Bite it hard.
Wow.
When someone finds their identity,
Yeah.
you don't feel the need to rush to defend yourself.
Right.
There's an idea of you being a king versus you being a king.
Right.
When you come to a place of rest, when you really know who you are, when you're not provoked anymore,
You don't want to prove it. Yeah.
The reason why you're provoked is because there is still the jaguar inside of you. There's still that fierce wolf inside of you. So when someone provokes you, they're trying to provoke that part of you. So they're annoying you. But what if that part doesn't exist anymore? That kid doesn't exist anymore. And you've come to a place of realization that you are not trying to be a king, you are actually a king.
Wow.
So now there's no need for you to react. You just be. So it's like a kid coming to you and saying, your face looks like a monkey. And you think that's so funny. That's so funny. That they hate you. That is so funny because you've seen yourself in the mirror. And the last time you checked, you didn't look like a monkey.
Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. On that same note, how do I control my temper? Some of it, that is there in my family line or things that have been practiced over the last few decades of being here. Now it's part of my habits, my lifestyle, my character, my personality.
Practice your temper buzz with a cop.
That's funny.
One sentence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you realize that you actually were able to control your temper.
Wow, that's right.
So there's a lie in your head that you think, I can't control my anger. No. Try with the cop.
So where we know that there is a consequence, we always know how to restrain ourselves.
So that's why temper is always a problem with people that we take for granted.
Yeah. That's amazing. Any fashion or grooming advice for young people?
Don't be afraid to try new things and don't be afraid to recognize that this style doesn't suit me and be quick to change to something that suits you. That's the beauty of growing even in your fashion.
Yeah.
That you are not sticking to one style. I've tried so many hairstyles. I've tried many kinds of suits. In my head, I'm not wearing something to wear. I also want to know what doesn't work, not just what works.
Yeah.
So keep on growing.
One last question.
Yeah.
How do I avoid prayer fatigue?
By restarting next day.
Okay.
It's okay that you're tired today. Just make sure that tomorrow you restart.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dad. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah, it's been a learning experience, and I'm sure that people can even share in the comments any questions that they have that we can maybe revisit in the next few
Probably
conversations.
Of this kind.
Yeah. So a lot of spiritual questions we deal with them on Wednesday nights when you're ministering here, or on a Sunday mornings when you're taking a question. But something very personal and practical that we can apply. These are questions that we can take on the podcast, and we can really learn from your experience, Dad. Thank you so much for doing this. This has been such a personal blessing to me, and I can surely testify that it'll help a lot of our people too.
Thank you for being a good student.
Thank you, Dad.